Well, hello, my friends. How are you all doing? How's your week been? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're excited again about a great broadcast. I would ask you if you would, you know the drill. Go ahead and share. I'm going to share. I'm going to start a couple of watch parties if I can figure out how to do it. I'm a little challenged, not a whole lot, but a little bit. So tonight, I have a great guest. I'm excited about her being here. I am honored that she's here and she's going to share with us her story. We're going to talk a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and give you all a few minutes to log on while I get myself together and start a watch party. So go ahead, log on, start a couple of watch parties while I figure this out. All right, I guess oh, I need to post it. That's the problem. Woo-hoo. All right, now let's go over here and start this party. Great, I think I'm ready now. All right. Yes. All right. Again, thank you all for joining us tonight. We're excited about our conversation tonight. We're just gonna talk candidly. This is a subject a few people want to talk about, but it's a reality in some of our lives. It may not have been our child, but it could have been our parent, or it could have been a close friend. It happens around us all the time. But hey, Danielle. But tonight I am honored, just honored to have Teresa Baker Blount with us tonight. She is going to be talking about her daughter, when her daughter transitioned, and our topic tonight is from birth to goodbye, losing a child. That's what we're talking about tonight. First of all, I'm honored that she even agreed to have this conversation over the web, and then I'm honored that she agreed to have it with me. I'm just so excited. I've known Mrs. Blount, as I call her, for years. I remember when we were back at Greater Young Zion, and you talking about some pipes, homegirl can sing. Ooh, sisters can sing, honey. So she is just a mighty woman of God. She walks the walk because she can talk the talk, so she can walk the walk. I'm very impressed with her. She is just a great human. She has a sweet spirit, and I'm excited tonight to have the conversation with her. So welcome, Miss Blount. Welcome.
Thank you.
So first, before we dive in, I know a couple of people said they were going to join. I think one of your sons said that he was really looking forward to this conversation. So I don't know which one it was, but he said he wants to. Oh, were you? He said, I'm just looking forward to it. So I'm waiting on him to join so I can do a shout out to him. But tell us, how have you been navigating in the house since COVID?
Oh my. Actually, I'm going to tell you that it has not been hard for me, and I will tell you why.
Okay.
Because, and it has a lot to do with our topic. After I lost Candace, and it made me like I'm a different person than I was, and I used to, like to get out and among people, but I became where I just really like to be by myself. It's amazing to me, and I think that's more of it's a reaction because you're not like you're really sad, So
Mhm.
you don't want to be having to always explain why you
Mhm.
sad. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
and I think that, and now that's just my
Uh-huh.
thoughts on why I may have just feel like, because, and I've shared with a lot of other parents who feel the same way, where
Uh-huh.
you just kind of withdraw. And so
Yeah.
COVID has been fine for me because I've been like, I can just stay in,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
a totally different uh uh person than who I used to be.
Yeah. 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 So,
So
but well, you know what? For me, hey, Tarion, how are you? For me, I'm an introvert. I have to say, I can stay in my room and don't talk to nobody. I can have my book. I can have or TV, or I can sleep. Even though I know the Bible says you ain't supposed to love sleep, girl, I enjoy me some sleep. But it's been going on for so long. I'm like, okay, God, I guess I'm not as much of an introvert as I thought I was, because I need to get out.
yeah.
I want to be around other people. I want to, and plus, I like to have, like card parties. I like people to
Oh
come
yeah.
over for dinner.
Right.
Ain't none of
Exactly.
that happen. They ain't happen.
Yeah. I know. You do get to a point where you say, well, listen, I just need to go outside. I just need
Yeah.
to.
Right. 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 So
So
you brought it up earlier that before you lost Candace. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Candace. Can you tell us about her? Tell us about her personality.
oh yeah.
Any special things that she
I
loved to
miss her so
do.
much, my sweet
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
She was somebody who I love Candace's attitude. Her attitude was always, I'm gonna do. There's something she wanted to do. She was gung ho to do it. She was like, so one of her things. She had mild autism, but Candace, from early, she always wanted to make sure she did everything that her sisters and brothers got a chance to do.
Uh-huh.
Live in her own place. And but she was always, everybody always, like, okay, at Berean, they only knew me as Candace's mom. That's She would make herself known, and I found out that so many people afterwards, I found out she would call and check on people, and not just people.
Wow.
There were some people in Jefferson County that, like Michael Lewis, he told me, he said, Candace used to call and check on him. That's
Wow.
how she was. She was always checking on people, and she would, and this is my child that I'm telling you, I have never had to doubt how much she loves me, because she always would tell me. And she always, like, that's why it's so hard for me. It doesn't matter what holiday, she loved to celebrate. Same,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
whatever,
Uh-huh.
And so when they come up, I have a hard time with them, because because she
Mm-hmm.
always made sure everything was, she was doing something. Okay, mom, come on,
Mm-hmm.
do this. And she would, like, and she just was, she enjoyed life. That's what I'll tell
Yeah.
you about it.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
enjoyed life, and she liked to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
She
Mm-hmm.
loved her family. She loved her sisters and brothers.
So where
Um,
was she in the food in the
okay.
kid
So,
chain?
she was the oldest biological child. Lisa and
Uh-huh.
BJ, they were older than her, but it was Candace, because they were like this. Candace was born October 8th, 82. Nick was born October 7th, 83. And Brian was born October 27th, 84.
Wow.
And we used to laugh because her and Nick would be the same age for one day. But
Wow.
yeah, she
Wow. So
loved
now
that.
she lived on her own for a while?
Yeah. She actually she because she had told me that's what she wanted. She wanted to have her own place. She wanted to be out just like, everybody
Uh-huh.
else. So,
Uh-huh.
and I remember, you know, determining that from the moment that I found out from her diagnosis. I said, well, I'm gonna do my best to make sure that she has everything that everybody else has, and that's what I did. It took sometimes, look, I would be more bothered than she was, as far
Uh-huh.
as when we go somewhere and they don't want to deal with they just look at her diagnosis and not want to deal with it. But we go like at the YMCA or the girls club, but we would go anyway, you know, and they would find out she was, you know, just as, you know, she would make a lot of friends and, you know, but yeah, she was just a joyful person. She loved going to, she was a social person. Her calendar was, she had the social clubs that she went to after we moved up here, and she would go to that, and she would go to they would have this great big Christmas dance every year, and she would go to that, and so she was always, and she used to participate in this group called Sassy.
Okay.
South DeKalb Association of Super Special Youth. And she would go bowling with them all the time, and then she would bowl with this other group. But anyway, she was just really active, very active. And at Berean, oh my goodness, she wherever she went, when she was she would always want to be a part. Like she was in the choir.
And wait, could she sing like you? Could she sing like you?
Well, she had an alto voice, but when she and I were, when we were when I was down helping with trying to build back New Birth Inner City, she would go there and she would sing with me, you know, sometimes because you know, yeah. So yeah, she was, you know, but she loved it. And look, they would have the choir would have to sing. She was in 2 choirs. They would have to sing 7:30, 9:30, and 12 o'clock service. And she would, you know, be all day, do all of them.
Oh, hey, Nick is on. Hey, Nick. Jocelyn is on. Jeff Easley is on. Girl, you rolled deep. You got a whole lot of people on here for you. Patrice Smith is on. Hey, Janice. Carolyn Coley is on. Pastor Saunders is on. Oh, you got some power. You got some power, girl.
Look, and that's probably because they all know Candace. So.
Right. Right.
Yes, because you know, even before we left, you know, Augusta, you know, she was always, of course, the choir. She loved that. Loved the teen choir, and they called the teen choir after John D. Hackney. But then she, and she was always like to participate in outreach things. We would do different things when the youth would go to, I think we used to go to the Ronald McDonald House and to the nursing home, and so she was, you know, always wanted to do those kind of things.
Now, did she go with you? I know you do a lot of mission trips. Did she go with you when you went on mission trips?
She would go with me to Canada. Yes, she started going with me to Canada, and you know, that was wonderful. She was so happy. One of the things that I had wanted to do that I always say, oh man, because I wanted to take Candace on a cruise. But we got a chance when we went to Nova Scotia, we would have to take the ferry over to Nova Scotia from Maine. And the ferry sounds like, I mean, the ferry was actually like a mini cruise ship. They had everything on there, and it was very nice food and everything. So she got a chance to see a whale. But yeah, she they loved her there. When she would go with me on mission trip, Candace loved to cook. Loved to cook. Yes, and she watched all the cooking shows. She knew all of them. At one time, after we had first moved up here, we all took her, me and Lisa, BJ, and Nick and Brian. We all took her to when Emerald Augusta used to have his restaurant, because she loved Emerald. But so she loved to cook. So that's what she would do when we would go on mission trips. She would be in charge of, because a lot of times we would have to, you know, make the food for everybody. That we want to make the lunches for the kids for the camp, the Bible camp. So yeah, but that was who she was. Everybody said how she loved.
Wow. So she was just a social butterfly, period.
Yes,
she never met a stranger, huh? Wow. Right. Wow. So her autism did not hinder her living her life at all.
Well, of course there was some, and anybody who tells you who has a special needs child, they'll tell you that there would be some limits, but she was willing to fight through those limits, and say, well, what do I have to do to?
Oh,
Yeah, she would.
wow. Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna bring you back on for a special tent, and we're gonna talk about special needs children and how to care for them. So
Okay.
how Danielle, write that down. She'll be back. Okay, so can you talk a little bit about did you know that something was going on with her, or was it totally unexpected?
I was just fixing to tell you. As a matter of fact, I had been by there that Saturday night, and I said, Candace, you want me to take you to church in the morning? Because her choir was singing, and she didn't want, no, she wanted her ride that she usually get, because she said I would make her late. And I went so much. I was like, I wish I had taken her to dinner or something like that. She had on her mind getting ready for, being, going to sing. Because if she had to have a certain color shirt, she would have me out there looking to make sure she got it. But anyway, but that morning, and that's what happened. The person that was taking her to church, they called. She said, I can't get an answer. And she kept on and kept on. And then, so I finally got ready to go over there. And on my way over there, I'm saying, okay, God, she's okay. She's fine. She's fine, because it's not, she's up and ready to go. And, and so when we got over there, we still couldn't get an answer. And I called called 911, and they came and they went in, and the paramedics, and I can hardly remember nothing else after that day. I remember just sitting on the steps and I might have to be sitting on those steps at her apartment for a long time, because I was there after we had called her dad, and he came from Augusta there.
Wow.
So, I don't remember how long I was sitting there, and then what happened, I almost couldn't. I was just like telling him, I can't believe it. No. And then I didn't know what to do. I called Lisa, and she came over, and she kind of started handling things for me. That's how she is with the family. She handles stuff.
Yeah.
But, she started calling people, and I just can't remember. I just kept saying, I always say I went through this thing of I don't know nothing. I don't know what I don't know, just completely lost. And I from that time on, it was, oh gosh, it was so hard. I went through I kind of like 4 years have gone by, and I just can't believe it. That long time has gone by. I have finally gotten to the place where I wouldn't have even been able to do something like this. It was just hard for me. It was a year before I could go on her Facebook page, because it was, just incredibly painful. And that's one of the things that I want to bring out is, and this comes up in the groups that I've gone to and everything. Losing a child, it helps me to understand now from some people, because I'm telling you, it knocks you off your feet. I can't, it's indescribable.
Yeah.
I looked at a lot of people, like I thought about one of my aunts, and she was always just kind of, we thought, mean or whatever. And then I learned one day that she had lost a little girl, and so I thought about that. I said, no wonder what happened. Because if you don't get any help, if you don't get, you can just be in a bad place and just kind of shut yourself off from the world, So, and I thought about that, and I thought about people like James Brown.
Yeah.
James Brown lost his son, and after he lost his son, that's when things just went crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, it's just very indescribable. And when I think about some people that have experienced it before, when we had resources, get to talk to anybody or share with somebody how you were feeling and try to get through the day, and somebody who could, you know, tell you just to breathe. Because I can remember that's one of the things I hear that all the time. I can't breathe. And I remember Candace and I actually had just gone through this with a friend of mine. She had lost her son, and me and Candace used to always, be over there with her or whatever. And I remember her telling me she couldn't breathe. And so I remember that night I had to, after I got home, I called and all I could say is I can't breathe. And that's, other than saying that, I can't describe it. It's just the most hurtful thing. And it really pulls you to a place like you don't want to do anything. Like, as far as I tried going back to Berean, but I just can't do it. It was hard for me at first to even drive down that way, and go by her apartment, which is not far from there, so but so it was just devastating. I many times I thought I'm just not gonna make it. That's just how I felt. I'm not gonna make it. But after it takes it's a journey. I had one counselor and she was good, but I have found, and you probably know this too, whenever someone has experienced something, they can so much better help you, identify with things. Because and I went there for a while and I kept, she kept kind of referring to her loss of someone else in her family, and I finally said, she was a nice lady and everything, but I needed something else. And then I found this wonderful counselor who had experienced child loss.
Oh,
who I still see on occasion.
You know what my niece says? Everybody needs a therapist and Jesus. Everybody needs a therapist and Jesus, baby. Yes.
It was one of the things that I tell, like, whenever I sometimes people will call me and they will refer somebody, that they know that has lost a child, to call me, and the first thing that I always like to say to them, because it made a difference to me, that it is okay not to be okay.
Yes.
And the reason I got that was such a powerful, impacting thing, because I can remember when I went in to talk to the counselor, and I'm telling him how I'm feeling, and he just said, "That's okay," and then like a weight lifted off of me. It's okay. You go through just so many. The process of grief is it's tough anyway. And you tend to think about just those 5: shock, denial.
Come on, social worker.
But listen, and Nick sent me he sent me this thing that had a curve, and it had all of these different things that you go through when you go through grief. And it was so helpful to me, because when I looked down there and saw disorganization, I became so disorganized. I became so, I call it discombobulated.
Yes.
And things and then I saw, panic. I had never in my life had a panic attack.
Yes. And come on, you helping people today. Come on.
And I could go into a full-blown panic attack right now. And I told all my children, I have to hear from them. When I don't hear from them, I'll go on Facebook just to see that they.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because, it's so scary. If I can't get in touch with somebody for a while, I start panicking.
And sometimes people like to say you go through this stage of grief, you go through this stage of grief. It's not like that. You could be up one day, down the next day, up again the next day, down the next minute. It can happen. All of those things can happen in one day.
Exactly. You're so right. I got a look. After Nick sent me that one thing, somebody sent me another one, and it had the lines going zigzag and zigzag.
Yes, yes, honey, you all over the place. I remember when my sister died, one of my co-workers' mom came over to the house and brought us some dinner. I want you to know I knew that lady's face, but I could not call her name. I could not tell you where I knew her from. It was like my mind had gone blank. You deal with so much. And I know that losing my sister doesn't compare to yours, but grief is still grief.
Yes, it is.
Especially when you're close to somebody.
Well, whenever I go, when I started going to the Compassionate Friends, because that's an awesome organization, they also have a component for siblings. I have gone to the national conference, and
wow.
I went, so we have, like I always refer people there, and Brian went with me, and he would go to the siblings group because they would break off the sibling group, would break off and go, but that was also a very helpful thing for me. The Compassionate Friends group. I didn't want to go. Like, well, I'll say it took me a minute before I would actually go.
I know.
And, and when I did, it's something to be in the room. You can finish people's sentences about how they're feeling. One way that one of the main things that people go through, and it's very scary, because this one lady came in, and I'll give you an example, and she kept saying, well, I don't think I'm suicidal. And she just kept kind of stuttering. I said, you don't want to be here? She said, yes, I don't want to be here. That's like, to make that statement, and people, you said it around, we always felt like in the group,
right, yes,
that we felt safe. But you say to someone else, that, oh my God, you call the crisis line. You know what I'm saying? But what she was saying is, it's just it's not that you want to harm yourself, but it's so painful to be here without me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and then, I know exactly. Yes.
And one of the and like I said, and then you think about, you always live with the fear of your other children, something happening to them. Lisa lived right around the corner, but if I don't hear from her for a while, I got to call. The girls gonna call me. The grandchildren gonna call me anyway. But I just want to make sure, everything's okay and everything's all right.
Yeah. It's interesting. Hey, Janice, and hey, Deborah and Karen. Who else is on here? Sophie, thank you for joining. Hey, Dr. Bennett, how are you? Henrietta Boone, hey, how are you? Thank you all for joining tonight. Melissa West, Lee West, thank you. And Curtis, thank you for joining. Brian, thank you for being on tonight. He says, I miss you, Candace. Oh, yes. Yeah, thank you. So if you would talk about you mentioned the compassionate friend. Talk about the different services or organizations that you became a part of or that you created.
So I started going to I went to the Compassionate Friends, which is it's for people who have lost a child. Doesn't matter what age, because I would tell you that it does not matter what age you lose your child. It's still just such a devastating thing. A lot of people, even when you have a miscarriage, people don't know how devastating that is. But Compassionate Friends is a great group, and they have they have somewhere all over the United States. And that group, when you go in, you always sign in as, like, I put Candace's mom, you put your thing on, so we know each other like that. But we get to talk about your child, and you get to cry when other people are telling you, stop crying. When you going, and we always talk about that. And I was able to express, because I'm going to tell you that I was so angry. I was so angry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still mad sometimes, but it's better now. But I had a lot of just angry, just mad because Candace wasn't here and she was gone, and, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I that group you get to do you get, like I said, you can express yourself, and when you go in, you're not allowed in this group to I mean, you can express about your religion, but you're not allowed to give people advice. You need to do you need to do this, or why
Yeah.
don't you do this, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody, wants to feel safe because there are some people, you know, that don't identify. They from all
Yeah.
walks of life.
Yeah.
So um, yeah, and so that it's just like I said, it's an awesome group. I and it meets like on a monthly basis. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people feel like they need it more. Then
Mm-hmm.
you can go to another one in another area.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you know that once a month. But also I started at um after I started getting counseling at and the doctor is at he's at Shallowford Presbyterian Church.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have something called Grief Share.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I'm sure you've heard of Grief Share.
Yes, I
So
have.
I did go to that for uh, a while because I just needed, so I felt like I needed
Mm-hmm.
whatever, because you feel
Mm-hmm.
as such a loss, like I don't I don't know what to do. And to give you an example, when I was in the Compassionate Friends, I remember the first time, and this guy was telling about how he had lost his daughter, and he said he lived in his neighborhood for years. He got to the stop sign. He said he actually had no clue which way to go. He said he was
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
get blank.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
and so and I remember I was had started working on my doctorate, and I went, and we had a, like, right after that month we had a what they call a residency.
Mm-hmm.
It was here in Atlanta, and the lady was telling me, she said, "Are you sure you don't want to just wait and do this another time?" And I was feeling at that time, well, maybe I need to keep doing this because I can keep my mind on something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it was very difficult. It was very difficult to do. But anyway, back to the group, we you know, um, and we use pass the caterpillar, not caterpillar, the butterfly around whenever you want to talk, and everybody gets to talk, or you
Uh-huh.
don't have to talk if you don't want to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but it was so very helpful. With
Wow.
just identifying with some people that were in there.
Yeah.
And some people think, oh, well, if I go in there, it's going to make me sadder. But actually, it does not. It does the opposite, because
Mm-hmm.
you feel safe to say things you might not be able to say to other people
Mm-hmm.
that don't understand. And I mean, you subjects come up like when to go back to work, and
Mm-hmm.
it's different for different people.
Correct. Correct.
Um,
Correct.
I remember going and starting back working, but I can't hardly remember much of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to visit people in homes, and I just remember just that empty feeling, and I was, and this is what I would say when people would ask me, "How you doing?" I would not, because I was not fine. I was
Right.
not.
Right.
I was not
Right.
okay. So I would say, "I'm functioning." I'm
Yeah.
functioning, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was doing. I was just functioning. And then,
Wow.
I said with the grief share, it was that was a very helpful group too. But they wanted me to become one of the facilitators.
Uh-huh.
But I you look it was after Candace did pass, it was enough to try to keep my mind on one thing, to what I'm saying.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So much. I'm going to tell you this one thing that happened after I was telling you about how she loved holidays. Well, my birthday came around that first year after, and I was just, I was so sad, crying all day. And I went out to the garage, and I was just pulling something out,
Mm-hmm.
and out falls this letter. Now, this was a letter Candace had written some years before when she first moved out.
Wow.
She first moved out from with me, and she had written me this letter, and I had forgot about it. Anyway, it just fell out, and it just said, "Mama, I know you've been crying." I mean, it was just
Wow.
like she was talking to me.
Yeah.
She said, "But I just want you to know that I'm here. I'm here for you." And and I was just like that. It helped me get through that birthday.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
you know.
Yes. Yes.
So, but I did. Like I said, I and that and with a counselor, and I one thing I would like to say is, and you probably know this. You might not get the right counselor the first time,
Come
or
on.
even the
Yes.
second time. You know what I mean?
Yes. That's
But
right.
continue to find somebody that you can talk to and can help you find your way back to yourself.
Right. Right. Right.
And in this line of work, working with different people, what counseling really does, people think it's somebody that tells you what to do, but it's not really that. It's somebody that helps you find that you already know inside yourself.
Mm-hmm. Come on. What is your doctorate in, honey?
Human services.
Come on.
But yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I tell people all the time, when you're looking for a counselor, don't give up. It's like when they prescribe high blood pressure medication for me, I had to go through 3 different medications till I found the right one. It's the exact same thing. You can't give up. This is your life that we're talking about. And you gotta see your mental health just as important as you see your physical health. It's just 2 components of your body. It's still your body. Your mental health is still just important as your physical health. And you wouldn't neglect your physical health. I wouldn't stop going for chemotherapy when I had breast cancer. That would be stupid. So why would I not take care of my mental health the exact same way?
Exactly. And like I say, and then it's hit or miss sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to keep going until you find that right person.
Yes. Yes. Everybody is not a fit for everybody, but you gotta keep going until you find that one that's like, this is her. It's like when I was writing my first book, I kept looking for books, and all of the books were written by white males. And I'm thinking the information is good, but this just ain't happening. It's just not.
Right.
Holy Ghost said, write your own book. So that's how that book came about. Because when I was looking for it, and you need people that can help you where you and help you where you need the help.
Exactly.
And that's not a bad thing. That's just reality. That's
it is. And you're right. That's just real. Is what that is.
Yeah.
I know. A lot of topics come up. A lot of times the topic comes up about medication. Because and whenever I would go to Compassionate Friends, that would come up, and some people say, "Oh no," because I want to. They would assume that medication is just makes them sleep things away and just be druggy up. And I want to feel everything. And this was an understanding for me. I'm telling you, I think it was like maybe going on the 3rd year, and I was just still really struggling. And I went to my doctor. He said he had told this to me before. He said, "Why don't you just try something?" He said just a mild dose, something to help you, because he could tell I had gone into a clinical depression. In which it really was. You there, you don't want to get up. You just want to stay in the bed with a cover up your head.
Yes.
Do anything. So I did. So I finally did. I finally tried something, and it was such a impacting to me. What I learned happened is that medication, it helped the physical part of me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
See, grief is a very physical thing.
Yes.
All kind of stuff starts happening to your body. It helped me with the physical part. It didn't make my heartache go away from missing my daughter, but it helped me physically to feel better. And that was good. That was news for me learning, because I had, heard people talking about, taking medication.
Yes.
You might not have to, you know what I'm saying? But it's people's always say people's grief journeys are all different,
Yeah. But you know what? We also, in our community, we also like to say, girl, don't take that. You don't need to take that. You can just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Your boots may not be long enough. Baby, those straps may be too short. You may need some additional, and it's the same way when it comes to medicine to help with mental illnesses. You got to find the right one. Every medicine is not going to work the first time.
And medicines work different for different people,
Correct. You are absolutely right. Now we have a question. You all, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Miss Blount is here to answer all your questions, honey, because she knows.
Oh my gosh.
One question is, how do you help someone to release stuff so that they can move on? I.e. clothes, personal objects.
Okay, so this is the thing that, we talk about this all the time in the group. You cannot determine when somebody needs to. You might think they need to move on. They not be at that place. Sometimes they'll say, "Oh, they're stuck." Not necessarily. It just might be taking them a little bit longer to get to a place. And I'm gonna tell you, was one of the things we talk about. When people tell you to move on, it makes you mad. We talk about all the stuff we want to say in our mind. When are you gonna get? Is my thing is, I'm gonna be missing my daughter forever.
Yes.
And it's something that, and a lot of people get stuck because what they get stuck at, because they're feeling like they're trying to feel, when am I gonna feel better? When am I gonna? The truth is, and this is truth, and it's truth, and it's people think it might not be, but it's liberating. I'm never going to like that. I would never get to a place where it's that thing of, you can accept something, that doesn't mean you like it.
Yes.
Stuff I'm thinking, if you accept it, then you like it. You're never going to get to that place where that's going to be something that's pleasant for you to think about. Now you can change where you'll get to the place where you can think about good memories and those kind of things. Because I wasn't there for a long time. I just got out where I can think about happy times, with Candace.
So now tell us again, how long was it before you decided to go to Compassionate Friends or seek therapy after her death?
I'm trying to think. It was some months. It was about it must have been about 4 months.
Okay.
Because it was like that August.
So what made you decide it was time to do something different?
Well, I think it was it was the pain of everything, and feeling, just like I said, that lost feeling. Wish I could describe it better, except for this.
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
Lost. Just don't know what to do. Don't want to make no decisions. I could not make a simple decision like what I'm gonna eat or I couldn't do it. I would be just sitting there for the longest, And then, like you say, you have other children, and they, I know that Brian was struggling, so I wanted to, have something in place for him. Nick was, very open. We talked a lot. He was very open, and as a matter of fact, Nick is getting ready to go into family therapy.
Is he? Oh, well, welcome to the family, Nick.
But with and I remember my granddaughter, Anaya, asking me. She's like, "Grammy, are you ever gonna be okay again?" And they always lift my heart. My grands just, they always, lift my heart. But I could see her. I could see her seeing my sadness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was at the point where I said, actually, I just went, like it was like she said, just go and see, you can see. They tell you that when you come. You might come back, you might not. It's you'll see if this is for you. And then I found out that they had the sibling thing. So, I thought it was good for Brian to go. But yeah, that made me, I got to where I knew that I needed some help.
Yeah.
I can't do this. And and a lot of times we'll be saying well, God can help you, but God sends other people to help
That's
you.
true.
He doesn't come down here usually and handle things. He'll send his help to somebody else.
Preacher, preach. Yes.
So,
absolutely.
And a lot of it, me going through that. Now I also joined because they have online groups, which are
really,
and they're specific. Like the Compassionate Friends is online, but they also have the Compassionate Friends has a component. They split it up. Like there's an online group for those who have lost adult children. There's there's a group for those that have lost. They call them they're born sleep.
The stillborns.
Yes, stillborn. They have different groups online for every component. When I went to the national, it was it was going to be in Atlanta this year too, but because I didn't have it. But it was awesome. So many people, and to tell you how it worked. Like I was sitting in there in this group, and someone was talking about I forget, they were talking about remembering their child and all of this, and I was sitting, this lady, never seen her before in my life, and she just reached over and she caught my hand and I caught her hand. You know what I mean? It was just what do I want to say? A kinship or whatever. Everybody
yes
understand without you even saying. So doing that, and I went to the grief share because it was someone suggested it. After I couldn't go to what is it Compassionate Friends. It was only one. So someone suggested that, and then I the counselor that I go to, I because the first counselor, actually I got it through Capella.
Really?
Yes,
really?
They found, yeah, they I had when I told one of my instructors what had happened, she did a reference or whatever, and they pay for you free for several sessions to go to counseling. So, and then after I left her, my friend that had lost her son, she told me about this counselor, and she said that he was, he was so awesome, helped her with her and her daughters, because she had older daughters. But yeah, it just becomes and it becomes somewhere where you feel like because on the online group you'll see sometimes people come and they say, I just need to vent.
Yeah
about, a lot of times it's anger at how what's happening with your family, or you know what I mean. Since you lost your child, but it's it's been it's a learning experience. It has made me where I'm going to tell you the truth, that I always say, you're talking about living one life one day at a time. I know, like when the pandemic came, it was like I know it's but it's like I went through losing my child. I can handle it. It helps me to handle things that are, they come because I it's reality. It's something. Look, and I think about BJ. BJ told me a long time ago. He used to say, "Free your mind," and I totally understand now what he was talking about, because we'll have our minds just all boggled. This one how we see things. Whatever we've grown up with or whatever, and we'll
correct. Yes.
God is so different, and so the way he does things is so radical. You know what I mean?
Right.
never like I think, because I was having a few conversations with him, like, I don't understand why you took my baby. I'm just not, we, so, and you go through that. It's a part of grief,
So Jeff Easley said, is there one specific scripture that has ministered to you since you brought up God?
I will say, I don't know whether there's like a particular one, because at first I didn't want nobody quoting no scripture to me.
Come on, yes, you're right.
I did not. That wasn't helpful for me, to tell me, because I'm like, I don't know how anything good can come out of this. All things work together for good, and people telling you all that. I don't even want to hear all of that right now. And one of the things that I've begun to accept it is that, and guess what? God's all right with that.
Yes, he is. He can handle it. He can handle all of your questions. He can handle you being mad at him, because he's a big God. He big. He can handle that. And look, some people say, don't question God. Why not?
Because let me tell you, I remember the one time, this was after my divorce, and I was just saying, I was talking about how angry, this wasn't supposed to happen to me and all this. And I remember saying how angry I was. And then, and God just said to me, well, I know you were angry. I needed you to know it, because I didn't know how mad I was. Anyway,
absolutely.
I want a counselor that I had. I used to love old Wayne that I had when I was in Augusta. He used to say to my some of the things you feel like saying, and you can just say, God already know what you thinking in your mind.
Correct. He already know before I let him come between my lips. He already knows what I'm doing.
And he knows that you're human, and he knows that you have human feelings, and it's just real, is what it is.
Yes.
It's just real,
Wow.
Authenticity, which is one of the things that I have been searching for, is a thing that has been a learning point. So I guess if I said a particular scripture, I don't know, like there have been days when some would come to mind, you know what I'm saying, that I would remember, but it's just to kind of like, I want to say it wasn't any particular one, like different ones, right. Beauty for ashes, one, he'll give you beauty for ashes, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you all, if we're winding down, this time goes by so fast.
It does.
Come on, if you have questions, come on and share your questions with us. Hey, Angel Long, it's good to have you on tonight. So let me ask you, if thinking back when after the experience, after Candace died, what would you say was the most helpful thing that people did for you? And what would you say was the worst thing? Don't ever do that for anybody ever again.
That is a great question. Because Sonya, you know this. I have learned that I learned this kind of early on, that you don't have to say a thing. You just be there. Mm-hmm. There were some of my friends that would just, I don't even know. They were just here. They just came in and did things that I wasn't, I couldn't even do it. I could, somehow or another, they came in, they cooked, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I would say the main thing is, don't feel like you have to say anything, because you don't know what to say. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when you don't know what to say, you say the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm. And what you saying ain't helping, just hush.
Thank you. I can remember when Mike Stevenson died, and I remember I went up there with Sonya, and I remember the whole day I said nothing to her, but we walked from room to room. She was just holding my hand. That's all she needed from me. She didn't need me to tell her nothing. She didn't need me to say nothing. And people really need to realize that you don't have to say anything. Just and some of my friends were able to say, I just don't know what to say. I said, it's okay. You don't have to say anything. Just that is one of the most important ones. I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is one of the important ones. Because when people feel like they don't know what to say, they really don't have to say it.
Right.
Just be there,
Yep.
And that is one of the huge things, because
Yes.
telling me you got other children, or that really
Good.
makes me mad, because yes, I do.
Right.
I have other children that I love, but it doesn't take anything with the one that I lost.
Correct. So that's when I worked at Mother Baby. I was a social worker, and I would deal with people who had lost babies. And they would like to say, the nurses would say, well, oh, she's young, she can have another baby.
Yeah.
But that don't take the place of that one.
That's a horrible
You
thing
can
to
have
say.
10 more babies, but
Yes,
that one's
that's
not here.
exactly right. Yes, that's
They
a
don't,
great
it's
one.
crazy.
Yes. Yes.
So what have you been doing now to fill the time, to fill the void, since Candace has been gone? I know y'all used to do a whole lot together, and she used to run you,
Yes, I
because
know.
she had
I
a
used
calendar.
Yes, she did. And look, every weekend, see, we were together, because we would, at first, all of them would come over for Sunday dinner,
Mhm.
all of us, we would get together. But I think one of the main things that I just really miss, and how I had a hard time at first, because I didn't even want to do Christmas, because she loved Christmas and she always makes sure we put up the tree. I haven't put up a tree since.
Mhm.
But what I did, I tried to start doing some things. Like I said, she loved Camp Big Heart. And it's special needs, young adults. And she would go every summer, and they would go there and stay. And so what I did is, her dad would always contribute. Usually he would pay for her camp.
Mhm.
So where I started on my website, it has a picture of her on there, and it's a nonprofit organization, but we give a scholarship every year for someone to go to Camp Big Heart, because there's always somebody that needs a scholarship to go. It was a great experience, and she loved it. She would talk about it. She would talk about Camp Big Heart all the time. So that's one of the ways, and there are others. There are some other things. The children did a lot of things. Like Nick, he sent me a phone case, he had his picture on there saying the best mom. He had me a throw made with all of their pictures on it.
Oh, okay.
Center said the best mom, because that's what she would call me. I was the best mom, So, and I would just try, because it was really kind of hard at first. Even going around, like, her friends in the social groups and everything, when I would see them, because they'll, just be hurt, every time.
Yes, absolutely.
But that's some of the way that I would,
So what are you doing now? Do you do anything special? I know she just had a birthday not too long ago. Did y'all do something special for her during that time?
We went down to Watley. She was buried in Watley. We went down there because they were giving my dad naming the city hall after him. So I had T-shirts made for everybody. Her dad and I, because he contributed, so I can have T-shirts made for everybody. They didn't all get back on time, so but me and Brian have ours. I got to send the rest of them out. But we went down, and then we went to her grave and took her some turquoise. Her favorite color is turquoise. Turquoise balloons. We do everything. That's her favorite color. Turquoise. Look, for a long time I couldn't even look at turquoise stuff, because anyway. And then when I got back, my sweet grandchildren, Lisa at least I went by Lisa's, Anaya had made cupcakes.
Oh,
spelled out Candace's name, and we had
neat.
and we had candles, and so Lisa took pictures, and we had a little thing there, sung happy birthday to her.
Yeah. As I told you, for my sister, we generally, for her birthday, we will go eat at Outbacks. And Outback, I think it's called. And she would have this some type of Walla Holla pasta or something. So one of her kids will always order. It's not even on the menu anymore, but they still make it. So they would have that, and we'd sit and talk about her. And you know what? I have learned that I just, for my mom and for my sister, I just integrate them into, they're not here, but that doesn't mean I can't talk to them.
Yes. Well, one of the things that I learned from going to the group was it is so important to memorialize the person that you lost. It's so important, because what we would do on the birthdays at Compassionate Friends, and everybody when their birthday comes up, you take in food, and we have food, and you give a presentation of it could be a video, it could be whatever. Like the first time I took Candace's program and read her obituary, because it was written very, I don't know whether you remember, but it was written very like she was talking. So, when you do things like that, and it really is helpful.
Yes, it really is, and it's okay.
You don't want them forgotten. You want them to always be remembered.
And it's okay for you to talk about it. I mean, there are some people, I don't know, when I was growing up, don't talk about her, she's not here anymore. No, let's talk about her. Why we can't talk about her? It's not.
I know. I talk about it like when people ask me, how many children do you have? I say I have 5. I have 4 here on earth,
Yeah, you see, she's still yours.
Yes, that's right. But you're right. People will say, we don't want to forget. We want to always remember them.
Absolutely. There is nothing wrong with that. I am so happy that you came on tonight. I want you talked about Beauty for Ashes. So now tell me, so are you counseling people? Are you ministering to people?
My thing is, like, most of the time whenever somebody needs, somebody will just call me, and especially if somebody's lost a child, they'll call me. But I like my passion is providing resources. Connect with people with what they need. That's what I love to do.
Your conjunction junction. What's your function?
Exactly. So that's what I like to do. And, and Candace was like that too. A lot of it, I was like, she used to volunteer at the church, all the time. So that's what I like to do. People can go, like I also have their Dress for Success. I have some links that, that connect the things that they need. Beauty for Ashes was chosen because, I like to try to help people who have been down in the ashes, burned up. They can beauty can come out of it if it may take a while, but it does. So I just did her. I just did her under that nonprofit, her scholarship.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to leave that up a few minutes, you all, so that you can write that down. This is your final call for questions. It's already 8:03.
I know.
I thank you so much for sharing. I thank you.
I'm glad I was able to.
At first I was thinking, is it too early? Is it how? And then right after her birthday, I was like,
yeah. I was a little
tough. But hey, you did it.
Yeah,
you did excellent. Jeff easily said, thank you for sharing. You are courageous. I praise God for you. Janice Jackson says, yes, thank you. I think you have blessed a lot of people. I think you have freed a lot of people, because people, they don't know what they don't know until they don't know it.
Exactly.
So, and I think that you have opened people's eyes up to say, there is no set formula for grief. There is you can't say, well, mama did it this way and grandma did it.
It's not.
And that may not be your journey. That may not be your path. You gotta find your path. You gotta find your tribe, those people that will help you, that will walk with you, that will encourage you, that will tell you, okay, it's been 2 days, it's time to get up and take a bath now.
Right. I had a friend that came by and she said, listen, she said, just come walk out to the mailbox with me. Because I was just
Yes. You need those people in your life. You need all sorts of people in your village. And there are going to be some people that can be close to you, and then there are going to be some people that's going to be on the peripheral. They're there for you. They can't be all up in your bosom.
Right, exactly.
So
Exactly.
you just make sure you select your village of people that can support you and help you and not manipulate you during that
Exactly.
time, because there may be
Exactly.
some people, because you're so vulnerable,
Yes, very vulnerable.
you
Very
all open.
vulnerable. Yes.
You just all open, and
Yeah.
you're not thinking clearly. You need to have like a
Right.
Lisa in your life to direct things. Uh, so that's important. And there's, remember, you got to remember, there's nothing wrong with getting help.
No,
There is
there is
nothing.
nothing.
Mm-mm.
As a matter of fact, I think getting help is one of the most courageous things that you can ever do.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the bravest thing that you can do, is that you go and get some help, because
Mm-hmm.
you're at the point where you realize you need some. It does something. Your ego is kind of pushed back out of the way, and you can say, "Listen, I need someone to help me."
Yeah, yeah.
And that, like I say, that's the greatest sign of courage I've ever,
Yes.
experienced.
Girl, one time I had to decide, okay, am I going to buy some groceries or am I going to therapy? Oops, I'm going to therapy. I
On the
guess.
therapy. Exactly.
Miss Ernestine Bell said she really enjoyed your talk, Teresa. Great choice, Sonya. Thank you, Miss Harris
Just
Gill, for
saying.
being on tonight. We really appreciate it. I mean, transition comes in so many different
Yeah, it
facets of
does.
our lives, and
It does.
one of them is death, and we don't like talking about it.
Right. It's a very impacting thing. One of
Yeah.
the things that I have that has helped me, to realize, like I said, it's just truth and authenticity, that death is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen. I remember when I was real young, I didn't like to talk about death.
Right. No, don't talk about that. And
Yeah.
close your eyes when you go through the cemetery. It was just crazy stuff, honey. But
Right.
honey,
But once
Rufus
you
Copeland
realize,
Jr. said, "Thank you for sharing, Miss Blount. So much good information. You are such a blessing. Love you always."
oh,
Girl, you got some nice people up here looking at you. Come on, sister.
I have a lot of good friends.
You sure do. You, as they say, you's important.
Oh gosh.
Do you have any final thoughts before we close out? Any final comments before we close out?
I guess I do want to say how grateful I am to number one, to my children for being so supportive. Brian actually moved back in with me for a while,
Mm-hmm.
after that, and Lisa is always just you know like I said, she takes care of the family, make sure everything's okay, and I can call her. And Nick, I wish he was back on this side, but
Nick is living the life.
he is out in California.
Yep. Out there with the fires. You need to
Um,
bring yourself back this way.
yes, and the family, and like I say, it makes one of the things that's been it makes you value your
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
and makes you think about things you should have done, because a lot Nick was struggling for a long time with guilt,
Yeah.
because she had called him and he hadn't called her back. You know what I mean? She used to do that to all of them. She'd call them just to, see how they're doing. And so I think that's one of the things, is that it, you feel like somebody, doing something special for somebody, or just even calling them saying I love you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Do it. Do it.
yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
never know. Do it.
Right.
Do it.
No.
Sophie said thanks. So we think I told you, Jeffrey said thank you for sharing. Well, I am going to, I held you a little while longer. I'm sorry, but you're just great. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for being transparent and vulnerable during this time. I really, really appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. I know it's a tough subject. I don't care how many years it's been. It's still
Right.
tough.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
tough. But I do want to have you back and to talk about taking care of a special needs child, some of the challenges that go with that. I think we are going to do a panel discussion. We have a couple of other people that have special needs children, so I want to talk about that a little more.
Yes. Sure.
because I think we need that. We in our community, we like to sweep stuff up under the rug, but I want to do my best to bring it out so that people can live their best lives. To me, it's so much more to salvation than just having fire insurance.
Exactly.
So you need to say it in your pocketbook, in your mind, all of that. God meant we want to be prosperous on this side. We don't want to wait to get to heaven. I mean, I want to go to heaven now. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to live in desperation.
It's like I don't know whether you've ever read the rest of the Serenity Prayer. It's awesome. When you get a chance, read the whole thing, because it ends with saying, and to be I forgot the word that they use on this side, and to while I wait to be I forgot the descriptive word they used, but it was beautiful. You know, like the whole Serenity Prayer. We usually just do that first part.
Yeah.
Grant me the courage, to change it. But the whole prayer is just really awesome.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna have to look that up. Where's Danielle? She must not be on, because she would have had that printed already on my phone. So she must be handling her children. That's why she's not on.
Yeah.
I act like she's my own personal assistant. Like she doesn't have two robust kids. But thank you again, and we will talk soon. Love you so much.
Thank you. Love you too.
Thank you for all that you're doing, even for the ones that you reach one-on-one. I really appreciate it. We need people that can speak truth and do it in love. So I am, again, honored and privileged that you were on tonight. People that are with us for the first time, my name is Sonya T, and I am a licensed clinical social worker as well as a certified transition coach. So I talk about everything as it relates to transition, whether or not you're dealing with retiring, whether or not you are an empty nester, whether or not you are I don't know, getting married, getting a divorce. All of that has to do with losing a job. Yes, I want to talk about that too. Losing a job, all of that. So my latest book is called Transition from Then to Now to Next. You can get it on Amazon. My first book is called Divorce in the Upper Room, and that talks about divorcing a senior pastor. So you can find both of those books on Amazon. I would encourage you to go to my website, check it out, leave me a comment, connect with me. You can see my videos on YouTube. The YouTube channel is Sonya T. So connect with us. So let us know what conversation you want us to have, and we'll do our best to get that on. Again, thank you so much, Miss Blount. I love you.
I love you too.
All right.
All right.